I'm Kathy Jarvis, and I've been coming to this church almost 2 years now. I lost my job because I couldn't work anymore. Got COPD, I could no longer work, so my self-esteem was pretty low, and I didn't know the Lord then. The only way I knew the Lord was that He's a Word. He was God. We all believe in God. At least that's the way I felt like back then. The God that I knew was the kind that I could also heap a lot of blame on if things didn't go right. Why is it that all my family is gone? And before I knew the Lord, I was so mad at Him. I'm like, what, I'm not good enough to go? They all left and I'm alone now. And why am I left here behind? Well, Fawn moved into my building about 3 or 4 years ago. But I didn't really know her. She was a new neighbor that moved in, and she'd go off and go downstairs, go off to work. And Fawn one day slammed her front door. I had just come off of 13 days in a row at work, and I opened the door and I yelled at her. I said, Fawn, you always keep slamming the door. So how I got to know Fawn better was I had an attack in the middle of the night. I couldn't breathe. And I ran to her and I knocked on her door, and she was relatively a stranger to me. She was not a stranger, but I didn't get to know her. I didn't know her as well. And I could have gone downstairs by my friend Penny, but I didn't, for some reason, we know the Lord directed me to her apartment because I had that attack, and I'm ringing her bell, knocking on her door, and it's like midnight. It was like midnight, yeah, it was midnight. And I'm telling her I can't breathe, you know, I'm in pain, can we go to the hospital? So she took me to the emergency room, and while we were in the emergency room, and they were checking me out and hooking me up to all kinds of stuff, and Fawn was sitting there, and that's when I said to her, Fawn, I know you work at the church, and I said at the, South Prairie, and I said, could you see if I can come down there and talk to somebody, talk to a pastor or somebody? And she said, yeah. So she set me up to talk to Pastor Dwight, and I came in to talk to him, and that's when I was offered to come here to the church. So I came, and I went, and I liked the service, and I cried. I felt really moved. But then when I got home, it was like, well, okay, I went and did church. Now what? I didn't feel anything. So for 2 weeks, I didn't come in. But within those 2 weeks, I'm not going, and I would watch Fawn get in her car and go off to church, and I kept thinking, there seems to be something missing. And I'd be walking around the house and looking out the window and come back and go back, look out the window. So I thought maybe I should go back to church again. So I did. And when I did, it was such a blessing because I knew what I was missing. At that time, I thought being baptized was the way you go to heaven. That's not the way you go to heaven. That doesn't make any difference. It's by being saved, by asking Jesus into your heart, confessing your sins, loving Him as much as He loves you. I know how important salvation is, that my friends who I love dearly, I want them to come to know the Lord. And I want to yell at them, you don't know what you're missing. But I know I can't do that. I have to be gentle, and I have to kind of gentle them into it. That's how important He is to me, that I want to be a disciple, and I'm trying. Another reason I know I'm saved, because I have been so incredibly happy ever since then. Even on the days that don't go well, I'm still incredibly happy. I know that He is there. I could turn to Him. It's not just reading the Bible to me, and it's not just going to church. It's what you carry every single day, and you carry it outside. and you carry it with you every day. And it's not just like something you do on a Sunday because you got nothing else to do. You know, your faith goes with you, not just to church. It goes before you go to church and it comes after you go to church. And it carries on. Before I was a Christian and I knew Christians, and I said to myself, whenever I saw them, they always looked so squeaky clean. You know, they just looked so perfect, and I couldn't figure out why. And now I know it was the Spirit shining through them. That's what it was. And I've been told that people have seen that with me, so that makes me happy, you know.